Hello everyone, in this video we'll discuss about the concept of two-dimensional array in C programming. The two-dimensional array can be defined as an array of arrays. The 2D array is organized as matrix which can be represented as the collection of rows and columns. A two-dimensional array is an array where its elements are selected using two indices. In 2D array, to declare and assess element of a 2D array, we use two subscript instead of one. In 1D array, only one subscript is required. For 2D array, two subscripts are required. First subscript is for row and second subscript is for column. This is a syntax for declaring 2D array: data type, array name, number of rows, and then number of columns. The total number of elements in 2D array is row into column. For example, int a of m. Int is a data type, a is the name of the array, m is the number of rows, and n is the number of columns. In 2D array, m number of rows and n number of columns in the array has the same number of array elements. For example, int a, m is the row size and n is the column size. First array element is stored at index a of 00. Second element is stored at index a of 01 and so on. And finally, last element is stored at index a of m-1, n-1. If you want to represent the data in the form of matrix, then we use 2D array. Next is the initialization of two-dimensional array. Initialization of 2D array is similar to 1D array. In 1D array, one dimension is there. In 2D array, two dimensions are there. For example, int is a data type, temp is the name of the array, 2 is the row size and 3 is the column size. 1, 2, 3, these are the elements of row. 0, 11, 22, 13 are the elements of row 1. In this array, number of rows are 2 and number of columns are 3. Total number of elements are 2 into 3, that is 6. After this initialization, first element is stored at index temp of 00. Second element is stored at temp of 01. Third element is stored at temp of 02 and so on. And finally, last element is stored at temp of 12. Next is the memory representation of 2D array. The compiler will allocate the memory for 2D array row-wise. That means the first element of the second row will be placed after the last element of the first row. For example, int is a data type, num is the name of the array, 3 is the row size and 4 is the column size. Total number of rows in this array are 3 and number of columns in this array are 4. First element is stored at index num of 00. Second element is stored at index num of 01. Third element is stored at index num of 02. Fourth element is stored at index num of 03 and so on. And if we assume that the first element of array is at address 1000 and the size of type int is 2 bytes, then the element of array will get the following allocated memory locations: 1002, 1004, 1006, and the last element is stored at address 1022. This is a row-wise memory allocation for 2D array. Let's see the example of 2D array. In C programming, you can create an array of array, and these arrays are known as 2D array. For example, float is the data type, X is the name of the array, 3 is the row size, and 4 is the column size. Now in this case, X is a two-dimensional array. The array can hold 12 elements. You can think the array as a table with 3 rows and each row has 4 columns. You can also initialize 2D array like int is the data type, A is the name of the array, 2 is the row size, and 2 is the column size. 1, 2 elements of first row, 3, 4 are the elements of second row. Let's see the example how to store the element entered by user in 2D array and how to display the element of 2D array. First of all, inside the main function, declare 2D array. Int A is the name of the array, int is the data type, 2 is the number of rows, and 3 is the number of columns. Then declare two loop counter variable I and j. I is a loop counter variable for row and j is a loop counter variable for column. Then apply for loop. For I is equal to 0, I less than 2, I plus plus. This loop is for row. Inside the body of outer for loop, apply the inner for loop. J is equal to 0, j is less than 3, and j plus plus. This is the loop for number of columns. Then inside the body of inner for loop, with the help of printf function, display the message, enter value for a of %d, %d, first %d display the value of I and second %d display the value of j. Then with the help of scanf function, input array elements one by one. Then after that, displaying array elements onto the screen. Apply for loops. First for loop is for row. I is 0, I less than 2, I plus plus. And inside the body of outer for loop, apply inner for loop. Inner for loop is for column. J is equal to 0, j is less than 3, j plus plus. Inside the body of inner for loop, with the help of printf function, display array elements onto the screen. Now run this code. After the execution of this code, first of all input array elements at index a of 0, 0, input element at index a of 0, 1, input element at index a of 0, 2, input element at index a of 1, 0, input element at index a of 1, 1. Then input element of array at index a of 1, 2. And finally printf function display array elements onto the screen. If you want to display element in the matrix form, then put the if condition. Inside the body of inner for loop, put the if condition if j is equal to 2. If this condition is true, then inside the body of if we use printf function. Inside printf function, write down /n transfer the control to the next line. If you want to give space between elements, then you use /t. Now in this case, first of all, value of I is 0. 0 is less than 2. Condition is evaluated to be true. Then inside the body of outer for loop, there is an inner for loop. J is 0. 0 is less than 3. Condition is evaluated to be true. Then input element at index A of 0, 0. Then j plus plus, j become 1. 1 is less than 3. Condition is evaluated to be true. Then input element at index A of 0, 1. And so on. When j become 3, 3 is less than 3, condition is evaluated to be false, then control transfer to the out of loop. Then I plus plus I become 1, 1 is less than 2, condition is evaluated to be true. J is 0, 0 is less than 3, condition is evaluated to be true. Then input element at index A of 1, 0. J plus plus, j become 1, 1 is less than 3, input element at index A of 1, 1. J plus plus, j become 2, 2 is less than 3, condition is evaluated to be true, input element at index A of 1, 2. Then j plus plus, j become 3, 3 is less than 3, condition is evaluated to be false. Then I plus plus, I become 2, 2 is less than 2, condition is evaluated to be false. Then control transfer to the out of for loop. Then after that, with the help of printf function, display array elements onto the screen.